Well, good morning, Trucker Todd here, and time for another video. All right, guys, as you can see, I'm here at the camper. Got some time off this week. Wife had a doctor's appointment, and so a lot of you guys have asked for more numbers information. So in this video, I'm going to pull out the handy dandy clipboard and give you guys a lot more information about numbers. Now, I want to remind you guys, I made a lot of mistakes here, and we're going to cover those mistakes in this video, but the numbers don't lie. We can see the good, the bad, and ugly. This is not a video to brag, so don't take any ego in this. This is a video to help you guys. If you don't know how to figure your numbers, I'm going to tell you how I arrived at these numbers. And B, if you do know your numbers, you can look at what I'm doing and compare them to your numbers and see areas where maybe you can improve, or know if you're doing better than me, then know, hey, maybe you're doing pretty good, and give yourself a pat on the back. Speaking of giving a pat on the back, help me out. Look below this video. Make sure you're subscribed. Click that bell notification, select all, so that you receive notifications when future videos come out. Also, share this video on your social media platforms. Give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you look in the description, you'll find a lot of other great information about how you can help the channel out, and there's information about how to apply it Swift and things like that. I'll also put that description about how to apply it Swift in the comments below. All right, folks, now that we got through the housekeeping, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Here we go.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down, flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round, for my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
Okay, as I promised in the intro, I'm going to tell you guys how I arrived at these numbers. There was ways I could doctor the numbers to make them look better for me, and I'm not going to do that. For example, I decided to use hub miles instead of dispatch miles to figure stuff. As you know, there can be a variance there of about 10%, sometimes even 15%. I didn't do that. I did hub miles. So I'm showing you these numbers in the worst possible light so that you can see what they are. And my actual hub miles to this point are 5,216 miles. Now, my deadhead is currently, and this is going to be important in a minute, at 15.1%. And that's because I deadheaded from Dallas to Lubbock to get here for this doctor's appointment. As you guys know, we just came out of Father's Day weekend, and by the way, I hope all you fathers had a great Father's Day weekend. Had I not been able to do that, and had I been able to find a load that came to Lubbock, my deadhead was sitting at 8.4 prior to that. So you guys know that it's best if you can keep your deadhead below 10%. As I said, just this last deadhead home is what jacked mine up. But I was at 8.4, which is actually fairly good. All right, let's get into some more of the numbers. Since I've been at DART, I've bought 560 gallons, or actually 560.03 gallons of diesel. That diesel has cost me $3,059.52. And my average fuel economy is 9.31 miles per gallon. Now, let's talk about that for a second. Some of you are thinking, oh, that's great. I'm actually going to tell you that I believe I can get north of 10 miles per gallon. I ran from Texas to Colorado to Idaho to California back to Texas. There was a 34-hour break in there. There was another day where I sat for a day. It was super hot, over 100 degrees, so there was a lot of idling. And I believe that I can get that idling down, and I can see north of 10 miles a gallon. Now, a lot of you have been curious about what I've been paying for fuel. I just listed some expensive states for fuel. Colorado, Idaho, California, Arizona, New Mexico. So my average fuel price per gallon, that's what I wanted to say, $5.46 a gallon. Now, how did I arrive at that number? I took the price that I paid for fuel, and this is the actual price, not what it shows on the pump, of $3,059.52, and divided it by the 560.02 gallons that I've purchased so far. And I arrived at that number of $5.46 a gallon. Now, let's talk about the fuel surcharge. I had a guy comment, and he said, basically, Trucker Todd, you focus way too much on the fuel surcharge, when what you need to be focusing on is rates. Rates. Fuel surcharge is not revenue, according to this guy, and that I'm misleading people by telling people how important fuel surcharge is. Now, I'm going to assume something here. I'm going to assume this guy does not have a fuel surcharge at the company he works for. I don't know where he works. I'm making an assumption there. I'm giving you that up front. Let me say this. There's never a time in your life where you're not going to wish the rate was higher than what it is. No, if it was $20 a mile, you'd wish it was $21 a mile. It's just a fact of life. If your truck has 500 horsepower, you'll always wish it had 600 horsepower. No matter what you've got, you're always going to want better. But I would also argue that I get a raise every week. That's right. Every time fuel goes up, I get a raise. And the reason is through that fuel surcharge. Now, I've told you before in previous videos that the higher your miles per gallon is, the higher that your benefit from the fuel surcharge is. So, for example, at 9.31 miles per gallon, a lot of you guys are thinking, wow, that's great. Me, I'm still striving for north of 10 because then I benefit even more from the fuel surcharge. At the filming of this video, the fuel surcharge at Swift is 75.9 cents per mile. So if a guy got 10 miles a gallon, that would be the equivalent of getting almost $7.60 a gallon in fuel. And that's why it's so important. So me, for example, I mentioned earlier in this video that I spent $3,059.52 on diesel. My fuel surcharge paid $3,194.16. Now, I did have to estimate because of the way Swift adds that on there. I won't see that till later this week, but I'm within $5. And I turned $134.64 profit off of the fuel surcharge, meaning my fuel surcharge paid me $134.64 more than what I spent on diesel. Now, again, I'm going to criticize myself here. I mentioned that I deadheaded from Dallas to Lubbock. That's 350 miles. Since I've been at Swift, I've had a total deadhead, counting that 350, of 788 miles. And as I mentioned, my deadhead's 15.1, and it would have been 8.4 prior to that. So, deadhead does not pay fuel surcharge. So, had I been able to get a load from Dallas to Lubbock, say 350 miles, that would have paid me somewhere just a hair over $2 a mile with the fuel surcharge and everything. And I would have profited on the fuel surcharge roughly another $180, $200, something like that. So that's a $300 profit in 2 weeks' time. Not bad. Today actually marks my 2-week anniversary with Swift. And I normally like to hold off on doing these numbers until I've got, a couple of months in there and we can really do a deep dive into averages. But I didn't want to string you guys along. I wanted to give you guys accurate information. I hope I've answered everybody's questions about the numbers, but if I missed one, something you're curious about, ask me, and I'll do my best to get you that information as accurately as I can. I'm still learning how to pull all the reports here at Swift, and these numbers are as accurate as I could get them to the best of my ability. If you see something I missed or something I did wrong, I'd love to know so that I can correct that for you guys. But until the next time, y'all take care. I'm going to try to have a video out tomorrow. I'm going to tell you what it's about. I bought this Blue Parrot 650 XT headset. Let me get it up there where y'all can see it. A few months ago, and really it's been terrible. And so everybody wanted me to do a follow-up video on it. I did an initial review and I wasn't that impressed with it. But they recently did an update and it's a different world now. So I want to come back, do a follow-up video like some of you have asked me to do. And we're going to tackle that beast tomorrow. So you guys take care. Sorry the video kind of ran on a little bit. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.